In the running for Best Book of 2025. I've read some strong books this year, even a couple this month alone. This is easily right up there in contention for the best of the best. But it could very well be a me thing, to a degree. You see, while this book is all about the roughly 450-mile Camino de Santiago in Spain, and specifically its traditional French way, it also has the vibes of the stories of a far longer trail I am much more familiar with and somewhat connected to, the nearly 2,200-mile-long Appalachian Trail that begins in the mountains I grew up in the foothills of in northern Georgia outside Atlanta and ends in the wilds of Maine. Many years ago, enough to constitute a few decades ago, I too intended to strike out on my own to conquer that particular trail, as it represented the ultimate challenge to me at the time. Life happened, and instead of spending the latter half of my 18th year hiking, I was already deep into my collegiate career, and indeed that very summer taking steps that would allow me to come into my own and find myself within the college ecosystem as much as the trail would have allowed me to do the same within its ecosystem. All these years later, I still hear the call of the Appalachian Trail at times, but I'm now a middle-aged fat ass that would take a significant training investment to even last the approach to the trail at Springer Mountain in Georgia. These days, I couldn't even make it up trails I did hike all those years ago at the beginning of that approach. But back to Redfearn's book, now that you know that bit of history about me. With part of this book being set in 1997 and featuring a then 17-year-old character setting out on this adventure as an escape from a rural setting for reasons, and with the history above happening in my own life circa 1997 at its peak, when I was just 14 years old, you can very easily see how easily I found myself identifying with one of our two female-led characters. I'd never heard of the Camino de Santiago until I saw Redfearn mentioning it on social media, presumably around the time she began actively working on this book, along with another author, Boo Walker, IIRC, who spent time living in Spain, also mentioning this trail at some point. But the way Redfearn describes it here, in both the practical and the near mystical, is truly eerily similar to the tales of the Appalachian Trail. Redfearn does indeed note that she did actually walk this trail, and that experience shines through vividly in this tale, including one particular character being based on a person she actually encountered on the trail. But read the book and its author's note to find out what happened there. Winking face, she really does a truly phenomenal job of highlighting both the hard realities of a trek of hundreds of miles, both logistically and on the human body, while at the same time showing just how transformative such an endeavor is on the human psyche and just how much it truly changes lives. Read this book. Absorb this book. Feel the magic of Redfearn's words and how transformative this undertaking clearly was for her as she creates this fictional version of the Camino that even as fiction is yet also all too real. Then write your own review of it. Let the rest of us know how you felt about it. Though yes, I will absolutely condemn you to a day of minor irritation if you 1 or 2 star this book over some bullshit personal hang-up like it mentioned AI. But still, I absolutely want to see your own reaction to this book, even if it is that level of bullshit, mostly so I can see how many others saw the same magic here I did. Slightly smiling face. After you've written your review, maybe consider going for even a mile hike in a local park. Get out in nature and the sun. I know I've been inspired here to make it a point to begin moving more and get away from my desk more, and hey, audiobooks exist in part for exactly that. Winking face. Very much recommended.